this one up. Hello, hello. So I got somebody joined. Who is that? Angelo, hey. I'm glad you joined. You haven't seen my living room yet. This is my living room. Or one of my two living rooms. Trying to get this camera just right so I can see text but at the same time work. Let's see. All right. All right. I'm gonna get started putting something together. Miss Boca. You know how to think about it. Like I said earlier, I rarely do lives. I should have figured out something for some music. All right. I've got a lot of stuff here. It's nice, almost like a video call. Yeah, almost. It's I gotta figure it out where I can get the text read to me, so I don't have to crouch over and get too close to the camera to read the text. I need to figure that out. That's not that big issue. All right, let's rebuild this dude. So I'll tell you what this is. This diesel heater is hooked up to one of my solar panel units, and it runs off used motor oil that I get for free. So it provides me with free heat. But that used motor oil clogs these engines up, so every once in a while you have to go through and clean them up and all that jazz. Let's see, what can I stick in there? That'll do. I've got two mechanics really close to me that are good friends, and of course they have tons of used motor oil where they change oil on vehicles, and so essentially I've got like 2,000 gallons of used motor oil that is just waiting on me to get, that they're giving to me for free, that will heat my house for at least the next 7 years. So I waited on parts for a while. This is all my bolts. I do not know what bolts go where. I'll show you the parts that I waited on. So you have to replace the screen. It got clogged up, so replacing that. I got an upgraded glow plug. The glow plug broke. And this is the old fuel pump. I got an upgraded fuel pump. Gay bearded homosexual Well, I'm not homosexual, but if that's what you want to call me, I'll accept it. I've had other nicknames that were worse. Somebody I know. I can't sleep. Oh man, I feel you. I've got insomnia myself, so I find myself doing stuff like this. Insomnia sucks. Every once in a while, valerian root helps. It's a natural supplement, but it tastes terrible. So try it, but it's going to taste terrible. But it might help. What are you guys saying? Fantastic gay outfit. Thank you. Thank you. I think I sport it well. Is that Eric Buckner? No, I don't think it is. Is you a duck hunter? Man, I've never gotten into hunting. I like the benefits of hunting. I like eating meat, but I've never gotten into hunting. I'm a fisherman. Never gotten into hunting. By the way, if you don't know my channel, I am a off-gridder homesteader. I try to make short video form content often. And I do lives very rarely, so this is a very rare live. Fantastic. Alright. I don't need my clamps yet. What screws? I don't know which bolts go in this position. But we'll figure it out. Miss Angelova, are you still there? See what, I'm going to set these bolts out and try to guess. Hope I guess right. They will bottom out, the bolts. They'll bottom out to where they're supposed to be, so trial and error will get it right. Yes, sweetheart. You are the sweetheart. You are the sweetheart. I think these shorter Allen bolts go in right now. We're going to try a longer one, see if it bottoms out. I really should I really should use some oil to put on the seal, or a gasket maker to put on the seals. Let's just hope it doesn't leak. Diesels aren't really known for leaking or springing leaks. You guys really can't see too well. I'm going to have to upgrade my camera systems if I'm going to be doing lives. So it looks like these longer bolts go in that position. Angelova, I think you're my only fan. You're sticking it out with me. I don't know who was calling me gay, but you know, whatever. So this is the combustion chamber, by the way. It doesn't work like a regular engine with pistons. It actually just has a combustion chamber, no moving parts. And if you didn't know, with a diesel engine, you don't have spark plugs, you have glow plugs. They're slightly different. This is actually the first diesel engine that I've ever repaired. I've never tore down a diesel engine. That's my sweetheart. I was going to erase that comment, but you got it really good vibe. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's hard to insult me effectively. Yeah, people find a very hard time getting an insult to stick to me. I got insulted so much as a child, it just don't work anymore. You know, I think my hair's never been as long. I'm either gonna have to play Jesus in the Christmas play this next year, or I need to cut my hair. What do you think, Sweet Pea? Do I need to cut my hair? Okay. Well, I kind of like my hair too. So that sells it. Not cutting my hair yet. So if you can see, there's a seal in between the combustion chamber and the housing for the combustion chamber. It has 4 longer Allen bolts. These Allen bolts compress the seal and should keep that compression safe. It's a small engine, but diesel engines have very high compression. Do what makes you comfortable. I appreciate that. You know, the long hair, I've never had it this long, but I really do enjoy it. And then I can put it up in a man bun and it just kicks out all my guy friends. I like the man bun. I'm glad I guessed right with this bolt. I'll tell you what though, when it gets to where I'm digging into the wiring and get a little deeper into finishing this project, the wiring is going to be difficult. I've got a owner's manual somewhere. I may have to look at the diagram. I want to brush your hair. That'd be really nice. I would absolutely let you brush my hair. That's something romantic that I've never even thought about doing. But yeah, that's a good idea. Are you the romantic type? I'm going to go ahead and peg you as the romantic type. Have I got any viewers yet? Maybe. And a little blush. I can be romantic sometimes. I don't mean to ignore you, but I am curious who is the other several viewers in here. Speak up, guys. We are rebuilding my diesel heater. I just started with the combustion chamber and housing. And I took this thing apart to rebuild it quite a while ago, waited on the parts, and I got to be honest, I really don't remember exactly how it goes together. I believe next I put the glow plug in. And do they give me a tool? They did not give me a tool to put the glow plug in. Do I have any more off-gridders in here? Or homesteaders? I have to say, being off-grid is so incredibly rewarding. And I own my property outright. I have no utility bills. There's nothing anybody can say or take away from me. I am free on my property. And I can't tell you how good that feels. Why? Okay, so I'll tell you why I'm rebuilding. So living off grid, I try to save money wherever I can. And so with diesel engines, you can burn used motor oil mixed with diesel to a certain ratio in a lot of diesel heaters, mostly mechanical diesel heaters. And so I tried that, but I did not filter my used motor oil well enough. So after running it for about a month, everything started to clog up. And so that leaves me where I'm at now, rebuilding. Let's see, is that read it right? But that's why I'm rebuilding. I did not filter my used motor oil well enough. Believe me, I have filtered it well now. I found a whole new filtering system. It's actually pretty easy to filter. You just run it through a bed sheet. It's incredibly simple. Guys, hang on just a second. I've got to get some different wrenches. All right. I've not used these wrenches much since I got them, but man, they are useful. But yeah, that used motor oil deposited carbon all throughout my engine. It actually took quite a while to clean it all out. It was very dirty. Like surprisingly dirty. I can't tell if this is misthreaded or not. No, it's not. So I'm putting the glow plug in now. I'll give you a close up. This is the combustion chamber. This is the housing. And so the glow plug is going right into the combustion chamber. It's not like a regular engine with pistons. Which is interesting. And this is my first time ever rebuilding both a diesel engine and an engine like this. Pretty intuitive though. Oh, booger. I think we are tight in there. No, we're not yet. That glow plug threads surprisingly deep in there. So I know I just asked the question, but maybe there's some more people in here now. Do I have any more off-gridders here late at night, can't sleep, and just surfing? I'd say being off-grid, man, it is awesome. So liberating. To the comment. Angelo, still for your first time, it looks like you know what you're doing. Oh, I misunderstood. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. You know, if I take something apart, I can put it back together. It's just like a puzzle. So anything I can take apart, I can put it back together. But I appreciate the compliment. There is a specific tool made to put this glow plug in. They were supposed to send it in the package, but I ordered this off Temu, so you know how that is. You very rarely get exactly what you order from Temu. Alright, fella. You gotta get on there. Oh, Angelo, I never figured out what was wandering around outside my camper earlier. I scared it off. I don't know what it was. I kind of think it might have just been a deer that for some reason ran into the side of the house. Okay. That glow plug is in there. Put that up. Now I believe this is our next part. And our seal is still on there. Let's think about this. Alright, that's easy. So, this is the combustion chamber with the glow plug. This is the fan. It's a mechanical fan that blows the hot air through. It blows the exhaust through this port out and blows the hot air into the room out that way. The seal's still on there. I have another seal that goes on the bottom right there. Awesome. Let's orientate this right. Alright, I feel confident with that. I just want to attach right on there just like that. Now we can put it on there. Fits right in. Isn't that nice? Take this glove off so I can have dexterity for these small screws. See, how many viewers have I got? Angela, you're the only one sticking out with me, but you're the only one that I need. As long as you're watching, it is worth it. Why is that not threading? Hang on now. Ah, there we go. What'd you say? Is the heat of it enough for the camper? I'm enjoying this time with you. Yeah, actually, it produces more heat than the camper needs. So I have pretty much the largest camper that you can get here. Uh, it's 250 square feet, maybe. I have never actually measured it, and I've never turned the heater on full blast. It could probably heat up to about 400 square feet, and I'm really enjoying this time with you as well. I know the conversation is mostly one-sided, but I am enjoying it. Alright, now why aren't you threading? So I told you this is one of 2 living rooms that I have. I promise you that if you ever find your way to me and are living with me, I won't do this in the living room anymore. I won't rebuild engines in the living room. Now, why aren't you threading? Hang on. I've got to investigate that. It's odd. You are a sweetheart, you know that? Alright, let's see if I can wedge this in there. You know, it really was odd timing that we met right as that military action was taken between our 2 countries. Very odd timing. Alright, dude, why are you threading? Let's see. I don't believe in coincidences. Yeah, I kind of don't either. You know, we both believe in God. God doesn't do coincidences. Everything is planned. So, in other words, there is a purpose to us meeting each other, and even a purpose to us meeting each other when we did. All right, I'm gonna have to change gears here. Get this lined up. Is that okay? I'm not completely lined up. That might help out. Let's try it. Still no? Huh. Alright, I'm going to take these bolts back out so I can get a deeper look at what is going on with that threading. There's something wrong with that threading. I sure hope it's not stripped out. Then I'll have to I'll have to break out my machinist tools. What is going on here? U-thread. You're threading. Threading. And threading. Okay. Looks like I may just not be pushing it down far enough. There's the problem right there. If you see this, this little bit of a lip right there will prevent it from seating all the way down and prevent me from being able to attach the two pieces. That just a little bit of clearance. See if I can get that pushed down some. Alright, I think that might do it. If I clear there, tell you what, this is something that I love using, and man does it work. Just to make sure that the connection right here is clear of any debris so it can be pressed down. Brake cleaner, man, works wonders. So just spray around this seal briefly. That should do it. Should clear out anything that might be jamming that up. Alright, let's try this again. By the way, I should know this by now, but I don't. Angeloba, is that the correct way to pronounce your name? I believe that's correct, Angeloba. Let's see, that don't. It's been free. This thing just does not want to work with me. It means daughter of an angel. Angel is Bulgarian. You know, I remember you telling me it's Bulgarian and that you actually chose that name. You decided to change your name because you found out that your actual parents, or not your actual parents, your biological parents were Bulgarian. You told me the whole situation. A very wild story. Very crazy story. But am I pronouncing it right when I say Angelova? Is that correct? Yes, they were Bulgarian gypsies. I am looking for them. Oh, well, that would be really cool if you found them. Good luck. I can just imagine what that reunion would be like. I imagine they've been looking for you for a very long time. Oh, fucker, come on. Tell you what, I think I'm going to dig into this and start over. Where I thought that those long bolts were supposed to go on the inside and thought that I did that right. I'm beginning to think those longer bolts go on the outside here and that these shorter bolts go on the inside of the combustion chamber. So I'm going to break this back down and try that again. See, what'd you say? Thanks. I recently decided to contact the Gypsy Networking. That's very interesting. I've heard of the Gypsy culture before, but I got to be honest. I don't know much. I don't know much about Gypsies. Here in the United States, we have Gypsies, but they're mostly up north and very mysterious. Very, very mysterious culture. All right, let's try this again. What? No, I don't. I don't have to back that out. Those bolts are right there. So I thought that I might end up having to back out that glow plug and start all over again. Uh, Having to back that out, you saw how difficult that was to put in. But those four longer bolts, they're right there. So all I have to do is take those out, replace it with the smaller bolts, and we're back on track. Let's see what you said. Okay. Right. Come on now there, boogers. You said it seemed like I know what I was doing. So much for that, huh? I do lives very, very rarely. Maybe once every 3 months. And so my short form content, if anybody else is curious, is a lot better quality. If anybody felt like they wanted to subscribe, I've not gotten good at doing lives yet. But I think I'm doing okay. Slightly interesting content. It's okay, take your time. Thanks, Sweet Pea. Sounds like you're ready to stay up all night with me. We can stay up all night chatting if you want to. I'm only doing the live because I have to get my watch hours up. I'm just about to the point where I'm already getting paid on Facebook but YouTube is about to start paying me. I just have to get my watch hours to a certain amount. And I can start earning cash on YouTube as well. I wouldn't mind spending the night with you. Now, staying up all night's one thing, but spending the night together, that would be nice. I wouldn't turn that down. You know, I do have a lot of lighting out here in the out on the farm, but I can turn all the lighting off very easily. And when you turn the lighting off, you can see so many stars. The stars are awesome out here. And after dark, it is so quiet. So after dark, whoever it is that's out here on the property, that's the only It's only us for miles. No one to bother us. Well, I'll say that it would be me, you, and the dog. The goats go to sleep just late at night. They wake up pretty early and start calling for food, though. We can haul to the moon. Yep. Well, we can howl to the moon. That's what you meant. Yeah, I'll howl to the moon. I've done it before. You really are kind of a wild spirit. I like that because so am I. I hate being ordinary. That's probably the worst thing anybody can ever tell me is that I'm ordinary or that I'm following the crowd. I try to always be different. Seems like you do too, and I like that. All right, gloves back off. Let's see. Right, how? Now we can howl at the moon, stare at the stars, have a campfire. You know, I like campfires at night. I don't like s'mores. I'm just not a sweet guy. I've never liked campfire food. Honestly, I don't know how people do like campfire food. It's just too much sugar. And marshmallows, I don't understand how anybody likes marshmallows. It's just nothing but inflated sugar. You've heard people say that they have a sweet tooth. I call mine a meat tooth. I can eat meat at any point. All right. We're just about back on track now. I mentioned I have insomnia, but I'm actually getting kind of tired now. Getting kind of sleepy. Now we're going to stick it out. We're going to finish this project tonight. Let's see what you said. I had a dream about us going fishing, and there was a black bear with us. Wow. I was taking the fish from the river with my hands to give them to the bear while you were making a fire. Man, that sounds like a dream come true. Yeah, that sounds like paradise. Only thing would make it better is if we are on the property that we own. We own 1,000 acres, and there's nobody for 1,000 acres. We live in a cabin. I cannot imagine better. Alright, I'm going to use a little trick to tighten these up tighter. Get a regular wrench with your Allen wrench. You stick it on there and you wedge it to the right degree. And you can really wrench down that Allen wrench. Get your bolts really tight. You have to be careful though, because this is made out of aluminum, and that aluminum will strip. Then you're in big trouble. I'm ready to get this thing fixed and back in place too. I've been using wood heat, and I gotta say that wood, cutting wood constantly is getting old. I'm ready to have my solar powered heater back and running. Let's see. I have to do this gently. It's a very sensitive part of this machine. Alright. Now we're back to where we were. Putting this fan on. And I think we're going to have a lot more success this time around. Check the seal. Yeah, that was right. That was the right thing to do. Oh, it's threading way easier. You know, when I make silly mistakes like that, I call myself a dummy. But I'm not doing it in a bad way. I had a granddad named Roscoe. He was everybody loved him, life of the party, and if he thought you were lying, he would say baloney. And if he caught you in a mistake, he'd say, you big dummy. It was endearing. He's gone now, but that is kind of what happens when people get older, isn't it? Well, I said that. I guess I'm actually getting kind of old now. Yikes. Anybody else had that realization in their life when you realize that you're finally getting old? Or maybe not old. I'm getting close. I'm getting close to middle age. Anybody ever had that realization where you're like, crap, I'm middle aged, man. This ride's halfway over. I'm 34. So I guess this ride's halfway over. You know what would have been nice? If I had the Allen bit to fit my drill for this project. That would have been smart. Let's see, what'd you say? I've always felt old. Yeah, I get that. Well, no, actually, I don't get that. I don't feel old now. I realize that I'm close to middle age, but I don't actually feel old. I think that I will forever feel young. I'm not immature, not at all. I'm a pretty mature person, but I feel like I feel young. Kind of like you never really realize when you grow up. Yeah, that's where I'm at in my life. Never really realize when you get old. Never really realize when you grow up. Being 19 years old still feels like it was just a few months ago. You know the saying, time flies when you're having fun. My dad used to say, time's fun when you're having flies. All right, we are past that step. Now let's figure out what's next. I'll tell you what's next is putting on this seal. We'll use a little more brake cleaner. Let's see, what'd you say? You look nice, not only because I see you with lovely eyes. Thank you. You're such a sweetheart. I'm going to have to eventually talk you into coming out here. And once I do actually get you out here to see me, I might not ever let you leave. You might just have to stay. That might be all she wrote once you finally make it out here. So this is a different type of gasket. This is a rubber gasket. These don't go bad very often. You can reuse them over and over and over again. So update on how everything goes together. This is a glow plug. That's the fan that pumps the heat into the room. And these two ports on the bottom, that's the exhaust and intake port. And that is where the diesel or the used motor oil fuel goes in. Let's see, I have somebody else in here. What are you working on? A V4 diesel heater. I run used motor oil mixed with diesel in my V4 heater. And eventually it clogs it up with carbon, so you have to tear it down, clean it out, and get replacement parts and rebuild it. And so that's what I'm doing at the moment. This is actually my first time rebuilding this type of heater, so I'm kind of winging it, figuring it out as I go. Let's see. That's going to go to that end. you have caught us about halfway through the reassembly of my diesel heater. If you didn't know, if you're not a subscriber, I'm off grid out here, and this produces just enough heat to heat my entire area. I have to say, being off grid is so rewarding. If you want to, give me a follow. I don't go live often, but I try to post short videos at least every other day. I try to make the content interesting. Let's see, how did this go in here? Gotta finesse this just the right way. Set my notifications, but never got one. Oh, that's weird. That's really strange. I don't know why you wouldn't have got notifications. But it sounds like you're already a subscriber, so awesome. Thank you. I do appreciate any subscribers. If you see the other person commenting, Angelova, she is a absolute sweetheart. Kind of a love interest, I guess, of mine. And she helps out with the channel. So she's, I guess, kind of a moderator. Well, not kind of. She is a moderator. All right, that's on there. Now I got to figure out how to put this back on. So that's my computer. That is the computer for the heater. This is the brains of the operation. Yeah, there she is, Angelova. So she is a moderator. And more. She's a moderator and some. Alright, I need to get something underneath that so I don't push back up. That'll do. Oh, it won't. Alright. Let's see. That'll do. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're cooking with chicken grease. Let's see, what'd you say? I miss my garage. Love tinkering with stuff. Yeah. You know, I have insomnia, which just sounds like really anybody that's within this chat tonight. They may have insomnia too. But with insomnia, you have to have something to do at nighttime. I didn't notice that my parts had come in. I've been waiting on these parts for like 2 weeks. But my parts came in today. I didn't notice until late that my parts had finally come in. And I said, I'm going to put this thing together tonight. If I don't have this diesel heater, I have wood heat. And I'm tired of chopping wood. If either one of you's ever chopped wood before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They get old fast. That's got good clearance. But yeah, having a garage, man, that's hard to beat. That is hard to beat. Alright. So this is going to be kind of complex because I don't remember. I've got several wires coming up, and I don't remember which wire goes to which fitting. So we're going to figure it out. Let's see. Only when I was younger, live in the southeast, luckily no heat really needed. Shoot. I live in southeast Arkansas. I need some heat. You must live more south than I do. I gotta have heat. All right, that has to go there. All right, let me think about this for a second. Let's see. Can't you short it that way? Maybe. Yeah, Florida. Yeah, certainly. So I have to be very careful. It's not color coded. Um, and there are two plugs that have the same plug. So I have to be very careful and really think about this. Try to remember. My memory's not great, but I will remember this if I stare at it long enough. And yeah, Florida. I guess Florida, you don't really need heat. It never really gets cold there. Yeah, I had it upside down. All right, so well, that makes it easy. There we be. Okay, problem solved. That problem solved itself. That's how it tends to go. Problems usually solve themselves as long as you're patient. And they're saying about that, good things come to those who wait. It is very true. Alright, I got my computer plugged in. Got it pushed down back in the fitting. And I'm putting the screw in to hold that sucker down. We're just about done, y'all. About 75% of the way done with this thing. And I'm going to get off here, have me a beer, and I'm going to go to bed. And I don't think anybody can blame me for doing so. Angelova, you don't drink, do you? I feel like you don't drink, but if you ever did drink, it would be like wine. I don't think you'd ever drink more than wine. Alright. So this thing all closes in. Get this moved back in place. And this lid goes on. And we are making some good progress. There we be. Hey. Got that on there. Where's that piece? Right there it is. You put that little cap on. You screw it on that thread. It's a old time, a very old style lock that they're using in a modern device. But that just locks everything shut. If I can get it on there. See, used to drink, not really much anymore. Yeah, it's not for everybody. You know, if you are able to cut back on it, good for you, man. Somebody else did the same thing. I used to drink as a kid because I grew up with an Italian family. I used to make wine and liquors with my father. Angelo, that's really interesting, because I still make hard ciders. For myself and my neighbors, I make hard ciders, and everybody tends to really enjoy it. Alright, I gotta get all the rest of the parts, or some of the rest of the parts up here in front of me, so I can remember how all this places together. Angelova, I don't think I knew about you that you grew up with an Italian family. I don't think I knew that. That's really interesting. Give me just a second, y'all. I will be right back. I've got to get the rest of these parts placed in front of me. It's kind of like a puzzle. Just got to place everything together as they go. Here it is. Right. Got that plate. Don't need that right now. That's the exhaust, and that's the intake. We don't need that right now. But what we do need next is the frame. So that is the majority of the frame. This is what everything goes inside. Let's see, okay, nobody yet. Right. I gotta make sure I orientate this in the right direction for how the air flows. Do I have a arrow telling me? No, I do not. But it can only fit in there one way. There we go. Alright, get in there, booger. Hey, there we go. We're just about done with this project, y'all. Then we can all go to bed. Y'all are in this deep with me. You gotta stay around now. We're locked in. Gotta finish this together. I think it only comes with 3 bolts. Or did I lose a bolt? No, there it is. Boy, I thought I lost the bolt. My goodness. Alright. What size are you? Not that size. You know, gloves are a necessary evil, but a lot of the times they just get in the way. Show you guys what I'm reaching for. I have a socket set right here. And that's the right size. Yeah, if you've had a garage before and you know anything about mechanicking, don't laugh at my little socket set. This is just my little one. I have a larger one. But really, you can laugh at it. I don't care. It's kind of cute and funny. If you guys wrote a comment, give me just a second to get up and read it. I need to get these bolts started. As soon as I get a couple started, I can read what you guys said. Don't get in there, booger. There we go. Alright, let's get updated on these comments. There's Angelova's. Okay, let's see. Woohoo! No, I'll probably be up for a little wait. It's 3 a.m. Well, I'll be up for a little longer. Yep, the exact reason a lot of mechanics don't wear gloves, even though they should. Yeah, I'm not a dedicated mechanic. I'm a shade tree mechanic at best, but they just get in the way sometimes. I mainly only use gloves when I'm like chopping wood or something. But with mechanicking, they just get in the way. Sounds like you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So saying that, I'm done with gloves for the rest of this project. They're just slowing me down. Now we're moving. Now we are moving. So the way I use this diesel here, uh, it's actually made for semi trucks. Semi trucks in very cold weather. It'll keep a semi cab or a sleeper cab warm even in the most cold of temperatures. But they just set it in their passenger seat. The way I do it, I install it in a window, uh, just like you install a window AC unit, and it works out super well. Angelova, the other lady in the chat, asked me earlier how much area this heats. I estimate that this little heater could heat up to about 400 square feet and keep it fairly warm. That's my guess. All right, put you to the side. All right, we're starting to look like a heater again. Let's see, Angelova. Used to love working on cars. Was assistant manager at a shop. Oh wow, so you are a professional. Body won't allow it though. Also, most common lost socket 10 millimeter. Yeah, man. Actually, I think. Check this out. I'm using this. I'm using this socket right now. This is a 10 millimeter socket. It's gone. It's missing. Yeah, I don't know what it is about 10 millimeter sockets. How cold is cold weather for you, Angelova? Uh, when it gets down to the low 40s, I think I have to turn on the heat. Above low 40s, I can handle it. So now the complicated wiring. Let me show you this. This is the digital reader. It also allows me to connect via Bluetooth on my phone and change like very specific settings. But that is what this is a digital screen that controls or that connects my remote or my phone to the computer. Look, somebody laughed at my joke. That's a rarity. Oh, you're laughing at that I'm missing a 10 millimeter. Yeah. When something is true, it's funny. And it is very true that 10 millimeter, man, they just go missing. Alright, let's see. 10 millimeter, yeah. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that goes missing in a mechanic shop besides a 10 millimeter? I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything else. Actually, I can think of something else. What else goes missing in a mechanic shop is your dollars, because when you get your paycheck, the amount of money that the government takes from you, your paycheck just disappears. All that money you counted up during the week that you thought you were going to get, you ain't getting that. The government got that. That paycheck just disappears. All right, let's see. How do you connect it there? There we go. Here's the part I was excited for. Alright, let me show you guys. A wrench with the same measurement. Really? I've never experienced a 10 millimeter wrench going missing. Actually, I have to... Hang on, we may not be ready for that step yet. When I show you that step that I'm excited about, well, I may just be the only one excited. It's cool. I did a really special upgrade while rebuilding this heater. Alright, come on up there. Come on out there. I got to put this plate in. That's fine. Yep. Or is it? And this sucker upside down. Flashlight. Alright, let's see. Well, I guess I had it right the first time. Shows me for second guessing. This has locks that lock into the frame that makes it more rigid. Now, well, I say I make it more rigid. I promise it does. Let's see. Is the plate a heat shield? Yeah, it is. It is. There's a gas tank that goes right here. I plan on expanding the gas tank. It's a very small gas or diesel tank. But yeah, so the heat is the engine's down here, and the fuel tank's right here. So I guess that would be a heat shield to keep that fuel tank from exploding. Or at least that makes sense. Good call on that. I didn't realize that. You sound like you might know what you're talking about. Alright, now it is time for what I was excited about. This was the old fuel pump. So with that, with all that old oil going through and me not filtering the oil first before I put it through, this fuel filter got clogged up. I did attempt to clean it, but I wanted to upgrade. So I went and bought a new fuel pump. Where the old fuel pump was rated for 6 kilowatt hours, this is rated for 8 kilowatt hours. The old fuel pump was 28 milliliters. This is 36 milliliters. No difference in size, but it's going to pump more fuel and it's going to pump it faster. Let's see if I can remember this correctly. Right, let's get the fuel, get the tank over here. So I told you about the tank. This is the diesel tank. So let's see, that goes on that side. It's odd. I thought that this was an issue. The fuel pump rest. It has a gadget that goes in, and it's supposed to rest at an angle. It reduces noise and helps the flow. It's kind of strange, but it's supposed to go at an angle. There's an arrow that tells me about the about which way this flows. And that's right in there. All right. Look, we're just about done. You guys might stay up later, but not I, not I. Right. I get the right socket to fit that clamp. Let's see. There we are. First guess. There's some people that can guess the size of a socket the first guess every time. That was pure luck. I don't understand how people do that. They can look at a bolt and know exactly what it is. I guess that comes from experience. I'm a welder, not a mechanic, so I don't have that experience. Right. Let's hope this don't get messy, but if it does, I just clean it up. Right on in there, big boy. Attach that to the fuel pump. That fuel line is going right on, just like butter. If the butter had sand in it. pliers. Now, I know I just had those pliers. There they are. You know, if you ever get a shop again, you say your body can't handle it. But if you ever got a shop again, man, these V4 12-volt diesel heaters, they are awesome. And if you got a mechanic close that will give you used motor oil, you can essentially have free heat. I've got about 2,000 gallons of used motor oil that 2 mechanic shops just give me for free, which of course is trash to them. Let's see. Okay. Well, you said you worked in a mechanic shop. You know how expensive it is to get rid of waste used motor oil. That's not something that mechanic shops enjoy dealing with. It's a very expensive overhead. I did the math one day. I essentially have free heat for the next 7-ish years, a little over 7 years. Tell you what, these plants from China are not the greatest. These hose plants, these suckers do not want to work with you. Let's see, take me a little break. Sounds good. How much is one of those heaters? Yeah, it's expensive to get rid of, and the EPA requires regulations aren't followed. You can get in trouble. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, to be honest, me and my mechanic friends that I'm getting this oil from were probably not following EPA requirements with me getting the oil. I mixed the oil. Okay, so first you have to filter the oil, and then you mix the oil, the filtered oil, 60% motor oil with 40% diesel, and you can burn it in most diesel engines. These diesel heaters, they range by brand and also by power, anywhere from about $70 to you can get them as far up as like $500. They get expensive, but the one I bought, this one, I spent maybe $130 on it. Tell you what, this clamp does not want to get on here. Just a minute to get this sucker on here. I mean, this sucker is giving me all kinds of heck. A poor design for a hose clamp. There we go. Sucker. Angelova, I know it's getting late where you are. Are you still there? Well, sucker, I might end up just putting a different hose clamp on there. Cheaply made dude. This dude is giving me, excuse my language, this hose clamp's giving me hell. Angelo is still there. Hey, sweetheart. It looks like you got a tip for me. Uh, if you are ever in the pinch and need to clamp something that's not under a ton of pressure, zip ties will do it. Yeah, man. I don't know why I didn't think of that. If this dude doesn't get on here within just a couple of more minutes, zip tie it is. Yeah, zip tie it is. But I'm pretty sure I've got a variety pack of zip ties just outside in the shed. Yep, that sucker is just not doing the trick. We'll give it one more shot about backing out this screw, just taking it all the way out. If this doesn't work, I'm going to go get me a zip tie. It's odd because I did not have near as much trouble getting this dude off. There you go. You take the screw all the way out, then you can get it. Well, Angelova and Buddy, I really do appreciate your guys' company tonight. I got lucky by having a sweetheart and a dude that knows what he's talking about join me tonight. How lucky could I get? All right. Let's see. Worked to hold my radiator in place. Yeah, I can see that. Holding the radiator in place. Held the hoses too. Now that's pretty surprising holding radiator hoses in place. Well, for a while, and yeah, don't recommend on the hoses. Yeah. uh, Told you I'd be here. Was late though. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Angela. Thank you both of you guys. Y'all are awesome. Yeah, I thought it might hold the radiator in place, like the bracket. That makes sense. Uh, but holding the hoses, that could not have lasted long. Surely to goodness. I mean, in a pinch, I guess it works, but them hoses are under some serious pressure. Alright, I got the clamp on. Let's tighten that sucker up. And we're on the home stretch. We just left third base, y'all. We just left third base. And I'm about to steal home. And there's nothing the pitcher can do about it. Has anybody got the time? What? How long have I been at this? What time is it, y'all? Somebody's going to tell me the time. It's going to be dang near 4 in the morning. Let's see. It's 3:44. My goodness. Well, I think you're the one in Florida. Let's see. How long did a full tank last? Uh, so a full tank, when I was putting just pure diesel in it, cost me. I might have to get different fuel line, maybe. It cost me a little under $2 to fill the tank up, and a full tank, not running on full blast, would last for about 16 hours. So it's actually pretty efficient. And when I went to rebuild this, I upgraded to both a more powerful fuel pump, a better coil, and so it's gonna put out more heat, but also be more efficient. So I'm looking forward to seeing how long it lasts now. Let's see, Angelo 4:45 there. I gotta check what time it is here. It is 2:46 here. I've got nothing to do tomorrow, so it's not a big deal. I'll catch up on my beauty rest. So that's the fuel pump. Now I need to run this line through here. Run it through a couple areas. We'll get this fuel line on. Then all we have to do is put the cover on. And I'm not going to install it where I'm going to install it tonight. I want to get it rebuilt. Tomorrow I will put the exhaust. I'll put it in the place that I want it. Put the exhaust and the intake on. And bolt it down. But that won't be till tomorrow. I've already got my wood stove going tonight, so there's no reason to get this thing running tonight. Alright, how's that looking? I tell you what, I do need to expand the size of this tank. I'm looking at a few options. It does run for about 14 hours. But there's some days that I don't want to do anything for a full 24 hours. And I certainly don't want to walk outside when it's snowing outside and fill up my tank again. Sounds good. You can leave it working while sleeping. Yeah, exactly. Alright. Turn this thing up. Don't spill. Alright, doing this by touch. Where is my other inlet? There it is. Also, this is a 12 volt DC for the power supply. So it sets right up to my solar panels. I run my solar panels to a charge controller, my charge controller to one 100 amp hour battery, and it does fine from there. That 100 amp hour battery is more than enough to run this. Alright, folks. It is. Well, no, hang on. I got that on, but we have to finish it. I have to put the cover on and show you guys what this looks like complete. I can't leave you hanging with it incomplete. So this is the V4 cover. Make sure I'm putting it on the right side. That snaps right on there. Take this gas cap off. That snaps right on there, and almost like a suitcase, it's got clasps that snap in. And that's a finished product, y'all. Y'all stuck it out with me. I got some loyalists. I got a good girlfriend and I got some good friends. Alright, y'all. Well, I say that. In there. There we go. There she be. There's a finished product. And it is time for me to go to bed. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Good night. Y'all have a good night.